Hey, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner, hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
We're a minimalist couple choosing a more intentional way of living, one decision at a time.
After burning out from the nonstop grind of running our business, we realized adventure doesn't have to look loud, expensive, or extreme to matter.
Sometimes it looks like letting go, starting over, asking harder questions, or figuring things out as you move along.
We discuss life's challenges, the small shifts that change everything, and the everyday choices that help us live with less physical clutter and mental noise.
You'll hear honest conversations, thoughtful stories, and reminders that a meaningful life is built in the in-between moments, not just the highlight reel.
This is the Arner Adventures podcast, where life itself is the adventure. Well, hello everyone.
Hi everybody.
We are back for, another episode. I guess that's why you tuned in. You know that. We're back for another episode.
Yeah, we keep doing them.
We keep doing them, y'all. Hope you're enjoying spring still. If you are tuning in, we have this newsletter that comes out every Sunday. And I've been talking in there about how we've been giving some kind of background, behind the scenes information about our big transition lifestyle change that's coming up on the podcast. If you're tuning in, this is your first time, but you've been following us on social media or maybe you've been reading our newsletter that comes out every Sunday. Welcome. If you're a return listener, thank you so much for being here. Either way, however you found us, thank you. Before we get into today's topic, I think we can maybe give a few updates on what's going on with our transition, you think?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to have some build out moments, some things that are going to be going on with the construction of our tiny home, and we're going to start filming of that. So if you want to see it in person and kind of a video perception, is that even a word? Video perception?
I think so.
Okay, video perception of what's going on. We are going to start posting that on our YouTube channel. So head over to our YouTube. It'll be in the show notes and you can follow us there. But we will, of course, update you along the way of our big transition again, big life change again. We're going even smaller and we're really excited because this whole lifestyle is going to be very personalized for us. And so there's a lot of things that are going to be functional for us. And if you're interested in maybe some tiny home systems and things that are going to be working for us, we're going to share what those products are, what those systems are. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. We're in a building process. Nothing huge to report on that, but thank you for everyone's interest in that new adventure that's coming our way.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad. I hope y'all enjoy it as good as we are. We're just really getting into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today's topic kind of came about when we were making that decision to change. And so we're going to be talking about the space that's between decision and change. So, in the past, we've talked about decision fatigue. It's not about too many decisions. It's maybe about a decision that you already made, but actually what that transition feels like before you actually, I guess, have the action of doing so.
The quiet one, that quiet decision, the one you've only said out loud to each other, or maybe not even that. Maybe you just thought it. But you felt it and you felt it click and you knew it was a revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you looked around and nothing changed. Same everything, same house, same routines, same socks, same responsibilities. Yeah. But you didn't feel the same inside of them. The space between decision and change is kind of strange.
Yeah. It's like you've made the decision and the action hasn't happened. And you're like, well, wait a minute, I've kind of decided this. So why are things not shifting? So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. So I hope all that makes sense. But a lot of us do suffer from decision fatigue, but then it's like, all right, now I've made the decision and now I want things to happen, but you're in that transition.
We used to think we weren't cruise people.
Until Virgin Voyages came along.
Exactly. It's adults only, sustainably minded, and the food? Let's just say it ruined us for every other ship.
No kids, no crowds, no cheesy formal nights. It's travel that feels elevated and relaxed, but it's the vibe you want.
Whether you're exploring the Caribbean, the Med, or somewhere new, Virgin Voyages just gets it right.
You can grab our savings access key at arneradventures.com/virgin-voyages and start planning your next getaway.
Trust us, it's not your typical cruise. It's a voyage.
Let's just dive into it. It's the moment you realize that something has shifted. Sometimes it's not dramatic, no big fight, no meltdown, no crisis. You just wake up one day and you think, okay, I'm done with that. It doesn't even have to be spontaneous, but it's like there is a shift that you finally go, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Or, you know what? This is the move I'm going to make. Or we can't keep doing this the same way. Or that version of success doesn't fit us anymore.
Yeah.
And the most interesting part is that nothing externally forces the change. It's like you just see it clearly. And we've had a few of those moments in our lives, that internal shift that comes before the visible one. You've sort of made the decision in your mind that that's how it's going to be, but it hasn't happened,
Right. And you have all these back burner things, and one day you go, that's moving to the front burner.
Yeah. That's a really good way of saying it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I feel like in the last few days I've had a few things like that where it's just like, click, okay, and then why hadn't I decided that a little while ago? But sometimes it's just things got to simmer, I guess, a little bit, and then they're ready and click, and there you go.
Yeah, and that in-between stretch can feel long, even if it's just a day. It's like, okay, I need to go ahead and act on this,
Yeah, so when you're different before your life is, like once you start moving differently, and even if you haven't moved at all, you respond differently, you tolerate less. Oh boy, I know that. And you think ahead more. I can relate to all that. You're already adjusting, but that, and I think to everybody else, you probably kind of look the same. But,
oh gosh, we are. We were talking about that this morning.
But the inner gears are cranking, and you're ready to go.
Sometimes it's that you've made your decision. Let's talk about it. Let's put it in a situation that a lot of people can relate to. If it's a workplace situation, and you've already kind of decided, yeah, this isn't for me. And you've in your head made the decision that you're going to have to leave, or you're going to have to change something about your position, right? And to everyone else, it does look the same. But sometimes you kind of checked out.
Yeah.
It's like that disconnect can feel kind of isolating because you're like, how are all these people just moving about when my life is getting ready to change,
Yeah, and it is isolating too because once everybody knows you're leaving, attention will come to you. So and that's isolating. And, and the thought of it especially is isolating.
Yeah.
More so than probably the actual moments that is happening.
Yeah, and that's just one example. But it's like you're carrying a future that no one else can see yet.
Yeah. Well, the part of decision and change no one talks about. We love before and after stories.
Everybody loves the before and after.
That's right, and you know that. That's why you tune in. We don't talk about the quiet middle. There's months of conversations, there's spreadsheets, and by golly, are we really doing this kind of moments? And the nights you stare at the ceiling, not the usual nights you stare at the ceiling, but the ones during this period when you're thinking about logistics. So change is usually not exploding in your life. It's something that kind of simmers, and on the back burner, you pull it up, and it grows slowly in private.
Yeah, there's actually sort of verbiage for this. So there's this guy, William Bridges, and I've linked this in the show notes, who wrote about life transitions and that distinguishing time between change and transition. So the change is external and the transition is internal, right? So that internal shift comes first, and then it's followed by a stretch that he calls the neutral zone, and that in between time can feel really uncertain. It can feel uncomfortable, but it's really where the real work is happening, where you're thinking about those logistics, Yeah,
it can be overwhelming. If you have anxiety already about things, then it might double at that moment.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, so, but it's just change is tough, but it's the only thing that's certain, right? So there's the urge to do something about it. Once the decision is made, it's tempting to act fast.
Yeah, to relieve the
That
tension,
makes sense. Yeah.
to announce it,
Mm-hmm.
to fix it, to move. It's like when we decided we were going to leave Beaufort
Mm-hmm.
and go to Western North Carolina. And I mean, it's very different. If you're
Yeah.
familiar with North Carolina, the two coasts are mountains and beach.
Mm-hmm.
And so going to the mountains and us deciding that's what we wanted to do, it kind of became real when we announced it, right?
Yeah.
And the move. But sometimes rushing is just discomfort in disguise. Now, we didn't rush this. We've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people will talk out loud about their decisions and they're not even sure yet that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So not every decision needs immediate action. Some decisions need to sit, need to simmer, and to become steady instead of emotional, to feel calm instead of urgent. And if it still feels chaotic, it may not be ready yet. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when we made our big life change here, that happened pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Like
it did.
selling our house, our business, all the stuff. That did
Uh-huh.
happen quickly, and we've not regretted that. But we do realize that doesn't work for everyone.
Oh no. That was a bold move. Bold move. Indeed.
Yeah.
This time we're a little more planned out.
Yeah,
and,
we are.
calculated and really feeling every moment of it, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you want to do is stay in the middle without panicking. And that's kind of one of the harder parts, living in the in between without assuming you're stuck, without telling yourself you're procrastinating, without thinking you missed your window. The space between decision and change is not wasted time. It's integration. It's a simmering point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alignment that is sort of catching up to reality. It's life rearranging quietly. We're in that process right now.
Yes, we are. Mhm.
And if you're there right now, if you've made a decision internally and nothing has shifted yet, it doesn't mean you're behind. It just means that you're building something solid, Sometimes the strongest moves are the ones that had time to root before anyone else saw them. So a lot of times people do have these wants of, I want to change this about my life, but they're scared to actually make that change. That can still be in transition. But what we're talking about is you've already made the decision. Like you are going to do this and you're just sort of maybe ruminating on a bit, but this is the logistical process. So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about is that, on this podcast, what we do is talk about the things that we've been through or we're going through and hope that that conversation can help someone else who is maybe listening to this. And you may be asking yourself some questions like, why does it feel strange after I make a big decision? And once you've decided something, you can't unknow it,
Mm-hmm.
Like even if nothing external has changed, your perception has. So that can create tension because you're mentally and emotionally ahead of your circumstances.
And I think the good thing too is that you are actually asking these questions or creating this kind of dialogue that we are right now, instead of just barreling through it. And,
Right.
And take time to think about the questions that are going on in your head and the emotions you're feeling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, if you're trying to teeter on that feeling, you've made the decision, just maybe use that transition as you're planning, as your logistics time, and don't feel like you're stuck, and try not to feel anxious. You're not avoiding it. You're just in your planning period. But the trick here the tip here is to go ahead and make that plan. Don't use this as a time that you want to make a change, but you're sitting on it for years. Like, go ahead and use the transition time as planning and actually manifesting that reality to come true.
That's right. Before you take that leap of faith, a little bit of thought going into it. Yep. If this episode resonated with you, or you know someone who might need to hear it, feel free to share it along. That truly means a lot to us.
You can also support the podcast by leaving a 5-star review or rating on the platform you're listening on. It helps more than you probably realize.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future episodes. You can always find us, the show notes, and the brands that support the podcast at warneradventures.com.
Until next time, here's to the small adventures, the hard ones, and everything in between.
Bye-bye.